I think we ought to lead down the road of pellets.
Pellets, okay.
Wood pellets are a renewable resource. Pellets are made out of recycled, reprocessed sawdust, pelletized, and they work through a mechanical system to extract the heat out of them. Not necessarily as aesthetic as a gas product, but depending on what fuel you're on, if you were on fuel oil or propane, pellets can be a great alternative heat source at a less cost to go through the same heating process. They're also a little better for the environment. We can install them in a lot of different applications, whether it's in a fireplace application with an insert. We can actually build them right in as a fireplace, and we also have them in freestanding options. And those options have plain steel boxes to very ornate cast iron and some contemporary styles. And some of the pellet stoves that we have can also burn multi-fuels like grains, cherry pits, along with pellets themselves. So you do have some different fuel choices too with the certain options.
In the showroom, I notice a lot of what they call BTU ratings on these various appliances. What is a BTU? Why is that something that I need to consider carefully?
BTUs are actually the gauge for heat. The appliance that we sell you, we're trying to find the mix between the BTUs and the size area that we're heating. We want to make it so that you can be comfortable and still use it. Big appliances, big BTUs.
Okay.
Small appliances, smaller BTUs. So it's a real balancing act to get the proper product.
Do you find anybody who is concerned about what is entailed with the installation, that perhaps it's going to be disruptive, or perhaps it's going to turn out that they can't even put an appliance in? Talk about that a little bit.
Well, we estimate every job that we do, and again, when we go out to the consumer's house, we look at the situation and we advise them on what the product can do, how it can do its function to the best ability, and try and marry those two things together. Most installations are not very disruptive. They're fairly clean and neat processes. Some of them are more detailed than others, but for the most part, it's a pretty cut and dry type process of just going in, clean, neat, leave, heat.
It's a nice catchphrase. Is a site visit always a necessity before you can sell someone one of the products?
If somebody's serious about buying one of our products, we do a site visit before every installation.
Okay.
We work off a contract, so if we come to the house, we make sure that product is the right product for you and that it can be installed properly to local codes, manufacturer guidelines, and that way we can figure out an exact price for you, the consumer.
Well, I'm really interested to see one of these pellet stoves in action. You have an operable pellet stove in the showroom?
We do, and we can go out and we can take a look at that.
Let's go.
Okay.
So here's a selection of your pellet stove products. Boy, that fire is really cooking there. What do we got going on here?
Well, again, this is a pellet stove, and it's a mechanical device that feeds the pellets into the burn pot. It's a forced draft system, and we're extracting a tremendous amount of heat from just a very small heat source.
So forced draft is some kind of fan that...
It's a fan-assisted unit that's basically sucking the air through the stove and out through the back. Now, these are all Harmon pellet stoves, and they are the only stoves that we carry in the pellet line. They're made in Pennsylvania. They are one of the absolute finest stoves out there. Their feed systems are great. They work really well. They exchange heat really well. and they can be used as either a zone heater or they can be used as a whole house heater.
Now, how do I get my pellets in there? Do I have to open up the front and shovel, or
No,
what?
pellet stoves have hoppers on the back, and we basically dump our bags of pellets in.
Okay,
and,
let's see this.
And our pellets, again, are recycled compressed sawdust.
Right.
And they're available in many different places today. And it's just a matter of loading them in the stove, turning the stove on, and we can control the stove either manually or we can do it thermostatically. It's very easy to operate. There's a little bit of maintenance that has to be done on them every week to clean up the burn pots and clean the glass, but for the most part, they're turn them on, watch them burn, and let them go.
I understand they're very efficient as far as the burn too. Not a lot of smoke with these?
There's very little byproducts as far as smoke. There's very little ash content because they burn very complete. And again, we have a lot of different styles.
Just looking at that, we've got a very modern, contemporary looking style here. Over here, we've got one that kind of looks like an old-fashioned wood stove.
Yep. Again, this is cast iron facing all the way around it. Very stylish, very old-fashioned looking. And again, we've got our typical box style, our contemporary style, and then on this side of you here, we have cast iron that's a little more upright in a contemporary style.
Yeah, kind of a hybrid of the two.
Yes, absolutely.
Peter, you talked about installation before, that you guys do the installations for the most part, but let's say I'm a do-it-yourselfer. I want to come in, buy a stove, take it home with me same day. I don't see a lot of inventory on the floor here. Where does that come from?
Well, we have a big warehouse out back, and we have the largest inventory of stoves in central New York. We have them stacked floor to ceiling out there, and we carry the majority of all the stoves in stock all the time.
So cash and carry if I want?
Cash and carry if you want. We carry the stoves, we carry the venting that goes along with them, and it wouldn't matter if it was a pellet stove, a gas stove, or a wood stove, we do carry all that product in stock.
Well, here's a question for you. I'm a do-it-yourselfer, and I'm not quite so good at this. If I find myself stuck halfway through, can I pick up the phone?
Absolutely. That's what we're here for. And again, because our staff is so knowledgeable, we can answer questions for the do-it-yourselfer. We've all done installations, and again, we sell the product, we know how the product goes together, and we can help anybody get through any type of stumbling block they might come across.
Still come over and bail me out if I need you though, right?
Oh, we can do that too.
Okay.